I got a message on Facebook the other day where somebody was asking me if I felt like the whole compact array phenomenon was just a big trend and it was going away, because they've heard people on social media talking about how they just can't get the volume out of them that they want, and they're going back to a more traditional two-way top cabinet. You know, a speaker with a horn and a woofer in it, because they can get the volume out of those that they want, and they're more familiar with them, and they just have not had the good luck with the column arrays that they thought they were going to. Let's talk about this today, because I got some things to say. These things are my opinion, and only my opinion, so you can take it or leave it. By the way, hello, my name is Brian. I'm a YouTuber. I've been on here since 2008. I'm one of the OGs. This is not going to be the prettiest video you see on YouTube. I shoot it with my phone. You may hear my furnace kick in. I've always done very punk videos, but the only time I ever turn the camera on is when I'm trying to help. So hopefully you find this video helpful. By the way, this video is brought to you by Hollywood DJ, located on 11th Street in Los Angeles, California. Check out their website, or alternately, give them a call for any of your DJ needs. They will hook you up. Thank you, Hollywood DJ, for being one of our channel sponsors. Now that shameless commercial is out of the way, let's get into it. Again, it's true that sometimes you just can't get the volume you want out of a compact array system. But is that a bad thing? That's the question. If you're doing a school dance, let's say you're dealing with 400 kids, 600 kids, 1,000 kids plus, you're going to want a two-way top cabinet, because those horns are long throw. They're going to throw a lot of sound a long distance. And that's great for those big rooms that you want to fill with sound. Nice, loud, crisp sound. Maybe you put big subwoofers on that too. But if you're doing a wedding reception, have you ever noticed how no matter what you say to the client, they always want to seat grandma right in front of the DJ during dinner? And eventually she turns to you, gives you a dirty look, and puts her fingers in her ears. It's too loud, because she can't have the conversation with Aunt Betty she wants to at the table. In the meantime, at the back of the room, maybe the head table's there, and they're not hearing the dinner music that they want to hear. They requested this Frank Sinatra. They requested this Kenny G, whatever they requested. They just can't hear it. DJ, can you turn it up? I'd love to, but I'm blowing grandma's head off right up here in front. That's the properties of the horn on the two-way top cabinet. And I experienced that for years. And again, no matter how much I expressed to this client how important it was to put grandma somewhere else other than right in front of me, she always ended up right in front of me. No matter what I said. I can't do the seating chart for him. You know, all I can do is try to help, right? So when I started using the compact arrays system, the column arrays, I didn't have that problem anymore, because there was no more horn on there. I still had the same SPL decibels, same sound pressure level, but it wasn't as harsh of a throw with those horns. So grandma could have a conversation with Aunt Betty at the table in front of me without getting her head blown off, and they could still hear the music and announcements at the back of the room where the head table was, or whatever happened to be back there. Something else that I noticed was people were having conversations at tables. I never really saw a lot of that before. People couldn't talk, and if they were screaming at each other or just talking to the person next to them. I did a quinceañera at the beginning of October. Actually, I designed the lighting system and I designed the sound system. My friend Art was DJing it. I was there doing lights. And our friend Juan was in attendance. He was kind of in the middle of the room, and he was sitting at a table with a lot of his cousins. And I went over and I talked to Juan. They were laughing, having a good time. I said, "What do you think, Juan?" He said, "Man, this is great. Sounds really good too." I said, "Yeah, it does. Have you noticed that we're not screaming at each other?" I said, "Yeah, we're not, are we? Usually we have to scream." "Of course you do." And this was like a 250 person quinceañera. It was in a big room. We used two Evolve 50s, and I did put an EV EKX15 sub on there for a little bit of fill, which was perfect. It wasn't cranked up real loud, but it was there just for a little bit of low end fill. The dance floor was good and hot. People were laughing, enjoying themselves on the dance floor. People were talking at the tables. It was an all pleasure, no pain event because nothing was hurting anybody's ears. Those horns are so loud, and that mid frequency is the vocal frequency, the frequency you're hearing me speaking right now. And when that mid frequency is super loud, we compete with that frequency with our voice, so we end up screaming. And when we scream, we get tired. And when we get tired, maybe we want to leave early. Maybe we don't want to dance as long. I've got a friend who's got a bar. He's using two-way Mackies as his mains. He's got karaoke 7 nights a week. And he was telling me, man, my bartenders are suffering from this sound. What can I do? I've put all this processing gear on there to try to help, and it's still super harsh. So have you thought about some of these compact arrays? Your place is only a 65-person capacity. Have you considered it? I don't know about those. So I gave him a demo down here in the studio. He was amazed. He's like, we need this. Yeah, you probably do. So your bartenders are screaming at customers to get orders. Every night, their hearing is going away with this loud, ear-piercing horns blowing their heads off. If you had arrays, then it would be much more well-rounded. You'd still be able to hear everything, but your vocals would no longer be competing with those harsh horns. So what I'm suggesting is, in a social environment where you've got to talk to people, at a wedding reception, at a class reunion, at a small to medium-sized company party, at a birthday party, events like this, I don't know, 250 people or less, let's just say, the compact array, I feel like, is the choice. The microphones don't feedback as bad. It's a beautiful thing. I kind of think that the people who are trying to get more volume out of a compact array are using them at the wrong events. They're using them maybe at school dances. They shouldn't be using them at. There are some large array systems that, I'll put together like a compact array, but a little bigger. LD Systems has the 44G2. A lot of people really like that. It's big, it's aggressive. Maybe that would work for, a medium-sized school dance. But most of them out there that we're talking about, like the Evolve 50 kind of thing, or the Evolve 30M, no, not big enough. You need more throw, and that's when you use those two-way tops. But if you're a wedding DJ, and you're not playing 500 person weddings, I really think that compact array is the way to go. And that's just my opinion on it. I don't think this is a trend. I think this is the future. Things are happening at my events that never happened before. And it's improved the quality of the events for the client and the guests. They're just better overall events. People are still dancing. The music's still good and full on the dance floor, but it's all pleasure and no pain. No more screaming. No more sticking your fingers in your ears because it's too loud. Don't believe the hype, folks. Don't believe the hype. Use the right tool for the job and use the right tool for your sound objectives, but don't believe the hype. Something else I'll talk about briefly before I close this video is, does it have to be that loud? There are some events you go to that are so incredibly loud. Some DJs just want it to be loud. Hey, if they're not paying attention to me or dancing, there's a problem. There's a lot of things going on at social events like weddings. I know my family is spread out all over the country. I moved from my hometown when I was 5. And every state we lived in, I lived in 4 states by the time I was 12 years old, I dropped a sibling off in each one of those states. So we're all over the country. When somebody gets married, one of my nieces or nephews get married, and incidentally, they're all married now, which is really weird, but they are. We all get together. And when we get together, we want to talk. Yeah, my family dances too. They're drinkers. They like to party. But they need to talk because they haven't seen each other in a while. That's happening at every wedding you do. There are people who haven't seen each other in years and they want to catch up. Let them do that. That's part of the social event experience. It's not just about the dancing. I have seen DJs who say to themselves, you know what? They're not dancing. Maybe they just can't hear me. In the meantime, it's very loud. And they go louder, thinking that's going to help solve the problem. No. People just aren't going to be able to talk even more or have to scream louder and eventually just get so tired from screaming, they're going to have to leave. I don't know. Just some thoughts today. Just an opinion, I guess. But no, I do not feel like the compact array is a trend that's going away. I feel like this is just the beginning. This is the future when it comes to social events. So anyway, that's it. That's my video. Thank you so much for watching. If you wouldn't mind a like, I'd appreciate it. Just click it. Don't cost you a thing. And it helps the channel. So we'll see you next time. I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Practice and enjoy.